How social media's negative aspects are ruining your life. Social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok have become a vital part of our everyday life in the era of digital connectedness. They provide us with the opportunity to interact, exchange, and connect with content from around the globe. However, these networks have a dark side as unsuitable and obscene content has surfaced, which has a negative effect on users. As we investigate this matter, it becomes more and more apparent that the sheer amount of explicit content is a serious concern, even in the face of explicit content policies that are explicit and stringent. The effectiveness of content moderation is called into question, and there are serious ramifications for users who are exposed to explicit content that shouldn't be on these sites. 2. Policy versus reality. The difficulty of moderation in content. Social media companies have worked hard to provide a secure space for their users by establishing guidelines that categorically forbid explicit content such as nudity and sexual imagery. These regulations are a praiseworthy first step in preserving a peaceful and productive online environment. However, things are not at all ideal in reality. The moderation of content presents a hurdle. These sites are nevertheless overrun with sexual content, even with the employment of sophisticated algorithms and devoted teams of moderators. The ease with which such content eludes discovery calls into question the efficacy of the content filtering mechanisms on these platforms. As a result, we are faced with the disconcerting dichotomy of having policies in place, but not always enforcing them. 3. Accounts. With a lot of followers, a negative impact. The existence of heavily followed accounts that frequently disseminate sexual content is one unsettling facet of this problem. These accounts have a sizable following, which frequently consists of impressionable young people. Through disobeying rules and sharing stuff that isn't appropriate for the community, these accounts are negatively influencing the people who interact with their posts. It is unsettling to observe how users, especially children, may be exposed to such stuff, which can have serious repercussions. Early exposure to sexual content can cause desensitization, mold negative views regarding relationships and body image, and ultimately impede a person's ability to develop normally. 4. The effect on users. Safeguarding the weak. This negative aspect of social media has an effect that goes beyond just annoying users or harming these services' reputations. It can have extremely negative effects, especially for the most susceptible user demographics, minors, for example. Social media platforms are excellent resources for information, knowledge, and entertainment. Nevertheless, there is a significant risk associated with allowing explicit content to proliferate unchecked. We need to take into account the possible psychological and emotional harm that users, especially children, may sustain when they unintentionally come into contact with explicit content. It could plant seeds of doubt, impede their growth, and even be harmful. It is social media platforms' responsibility to ensure the safety of these users. 5. A request for action. Establishing a more secure digital world. Now is the moment for us to work together to solve this negative aspect of social media. Social media firms must improve and reassess their reporting mechanisms, bolster their content moderation algorithms, and impose stricter punishments on users who violate their own content policies. In order to achieve this goal, users must also be alert and report explicit content as soon as they come across it. To build a safer online space where users, especially the most vulnerable, can explore without running into inappropriate or explicit content, we must all work together. Ensuring that social media stays a space for inspiration, education, and connection while removing the damaging influence of explicit information is a societal role that extends beyond business policies. In summary, It is critical to acknowledge and deal with social media's negative sides as we traverse the rapidly changing digital landscape. We have an obligation to make sure that these platforms continue to be places of growth and constructive relationships, shielding users from the damaging effects of explicit content. We can advance toward a safer and more responsible digital future by jointly realizing and solving the problem. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more contents like this.